I stop feeling like I can do it, and that leads me to like less action, and that leads to crappier results, and then I start questioning myself, and it just keeps down this downward cycle. Oh, I can't do it. If this is you and you feel like just going, then this is the exact same thing that is your downward spiral. It is your failure cycle. But the good news is once you understand it, you can flip the script and turn it into your success cycle. This is how we do it.
I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear. And today, we break through. And today, we break through. And today, we break through. And today.
So guys, if you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit that subscribe button, and make sure you're getting all the new videos, because guys, today we're diving into content that is real talk. All of us have limiting beliefs. All of us come up with barriers that are stopping you from the results that you desire and deserve. And today we're going to talk about the success or failure cycle that is either helping you or harming you in building your brand to script your competitive edge in your pharmacy career. So guys, how do rich people, why do rich people keep getting richer? And why do poor people seem to keep getting more po? That might seem irrelevant to building your brand or your career as a pharmacist, but I promise you, they're exactly the same thing. And what determines a pharmacist or a pharmacy student that seems to always be on a winning streak and consistently builds progress and has success, you know that person? But then there might be you or other people that you see that it just seems like they've got a bad break of luck. This seems like everything they try goes to crap. It's one of those people, or maybe you've had one of those days where you get out of bed and stub your toe and it's just one thing after the other. That is the failure cycle. And I want to tell you the difference that is also the same thing. I'm going to write it on my handy dandy board. That's right. We're getting high tech up on her now. So guys, the stimulus that determines either your success cycle and your failure cycle are the same, but the direction is what's different. And that magic word is momentum. That is the difference maker in your shaking, whether it's positive or success. So guys, I'm gonna break it down for you real quick. There are 4 areas that are key to either your success cycle or your failure cycle. And it has to do with 4 building blocks. That's right, we're going back to Lego days. So here's what I want you to imagine. If you're listening to this on the Fit Pharmacist Healthcare podcast, if you are, make sure you're subscribed, iTunes, all the channels. But guys, think about this. I'm gonna draw 4 blocks, okay? 2 blocks next to each other. So we've got 1 and 2. So I've got 2 blocks next to each other. Now, right underneath that, I'm gonna draw 2 more blocks next to each other. So we literally have 4 squares. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be a clockwise cycle. So in the top left block, draw an arrow to the right, pointing to that. In the top right block, draw an arrow going down towards the block in the bottom right. In the bottom right, draw an arrow to the left, pointing to the block in the bottom left. And in the bottom left, draw an arrow pointing up, which will bring you back to the top left block. Now you might be acting all confused, like, Adam, what you talking about, boy? Here is what happens. This is the success cycle framework, but what's inside is what makes the magic. In the top left block, the beginning block, we have another magical word called potential. Now, what's the potential of any human being, of me, of you, of anyone that you've met? It's unlimited. And my question to you is this: do any of us ever reach our full potential? Heck no. Now, we might feel like we're getting closer, but our potential is unlimited. It's actually us that limit that. Now, how that comes to pass is how this cycle comes to play. So, let's look at our potential. when we see our potential and we get either a limiting belief, feeling like we can't do this, or the flip side, feeling invincible, like we are top of the world, I'm a mastermind, I'm Superman. That will lead you to a totally different feeling of what your potential is. So right here is the magic. Where your mindset gets focused, what you focus on will determine the onset of your cycle. And the way that goes, it goes regardless. But whether it goes up towards success or down towards failure is all up to you and your mindset. So let me play this out for you real quick. Step one in the success cycle. Think of this, imagine this if you're listening to this. Top left is potential. We're moving to the right. So when we see our potential, when we think of something, we then take a step into another magic word, action. So let me ask you a question. If you're feeling invincible, like you're Superman, or maybe you're Wonder Woman, and you're on top of the world, and you feel like you've got the magic plan, and you have a dream or a vision, or you have a goal like building your brand and your pharmacy career, what kind of action do you feel like you're gonna take? Do you feel like you're gonna take some bold moves? Do you feel like you're going to reach out to people who are also Wonder Woman and Superman that you wanna collaborate with? Do you feel like you're gonna put yourself out there because you're so passionate and you believe in yourself that much? That's the kind of action you're going to take. So that's what we're gonna start. We're gonna start with the success cycle. You feel like $1 million. You feel like Superman. So you're juiced up. You got the physique up, you've got your posture up, and that leads you to take empowering action because you believe in your potential. Now, watch this. Once you take this massive action, this empowered action, guess what happens? You get a magical word, results. Now, let me ask you a question. If we started a success cycle with our potential, believing that we're Superman or Wonder Woman, and we then go to take action based on our belief on that potential, and because we take that empowered action, we get a result, what kind of result do you think we're going to get? Do you think we're going to get a positive result? Do you think we're going to get a result that leads us towards the next step, or either is our outcome or gets us one step closer to getting our dream, our desire, our outcome? Yes, because we're moving towards that direction. Now, here is where the magic really happens. So, coming back full circle, top left, potential. That moved us to the right, top right square, action. To the bottom right square, results. Guess what happens when we see the results that we got from the massive action we took, from the potential that we believe we have? We take action, we get the results, we see the results, and then we get a belief or certainty. So let me play this out quick. Here's the success cycle in essence in 4 simple steps. Starting from the top left, we have our potential. We see the potential that we have. We see the potential of growth, that we are Superman, we are Wonder Woman, but we ain't flying yet. We've got this passion, we have the skill set to build a brand of influence, of really helping people that we care about, that means something to us. So we see that we're not living up to that, so we're drawn to take step 2, action. We take action because we're empowered, so it's an empowering action. It's bold. It's towards the direction of what fires us up. And once we take that action, we get some form of result. Because our actions are fueled from us desiring to go towards the potential we see we have, but know we haven't got to yet, that leads us to get an empowered result, either leading to our outcome, we're there, we get the outcome right off the bat, or we're one step closer to that outcome. And when we see that result that leads us closer to feeling like we're living up to our potential, we then come back to the next step, the belief and certainty. Looking at a result, we see, wow, look what I did. Look at that. Woo! If I can do that, I wonder what else I can do. And then it leads us back to looking at our potential and seeing, look how much I've grown from that action and the result it gave me. I can even do more than I thought I could. I have skills I haven't even touched at trying to develop yet. I wonder what else I can do. And this goes on and on and on because of the magic word of momentum. Now, here's where we can get tripping. This cycle is the success cycle. It's also the exact same cycle for failure. When your brand isn't growing, when you feel like everyone else is winning and you're going downhill, but everyone else is like shooting off like rockets, this is the exact same formula that is holding you back and why, like I said earlier, the poor get poorer, yet the rich get richer. Let me break it down for you with a negative lens right quick, because all of us can be trapped by this at one point or another in our lives. The point of this video is for you to see how this happens so that you can stop it, flip the script, and turn this cycle upside down using the same system that's causing your failure and flip that into a success cycle. Let me break it down quick. Coming back to how we started in the success cycle, we look at our potential. Now, perhaps we're having a bad day. Perhaps someone's hating on us on social media. Perhaps we had a less than ideal interaction at the pharmacy, and we come home and we're thinking still about our dream, about building our brand, about scaling our career, and really leaving a legacy. But because we are focusing on the potential that we now believe is less than, or it's not what we thought it was, because all of these, quote, bad things are happening to us, what type of action do you feel is going to take place when you feel and view your potential like that? Likely, you're going to dabble. Likely, your actions are going to be less intense. Likely, you're not going to take action at all. That's the worst thing. Or you take half-assed actions. That's not good. Always go full ass. But I digress. If you take less than massive action, what type of result do you think that's going to come up with? If you take a small action, you're likely going to get a small result. It's a simple math equation, right? Now, follow me with the success cycle. We go top left, potential. To the right, top right square, action. That leads down, bottom right, to the results, the small results, all right? That goes to the left, bottom left square. Our belief and our certainty. So, if we had this bad day that led us to question our potential, caused us to take small or half-assed action, which created a small result or under our expectations, do you think that's going to create a powerful belief or give us certainty that we know what we're doing or we're qualified or we're cut out for this? No! It's going to cause the opposite. It's going to cause us to question our beliefs. It's going to fuel our limiting beliefs, and it's going to make us uncertain. So this is going to be limiting, and it's going to cause uncertainty. This success cycle now gets etched into a failure cycle. So you see these results, all right? You have limiting beliefs. Now you're uncertain. Guess what happens? You start to question your potential. You start to question yourself and say, I think that I am living a little bit more than I am worth. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe the people that have been complimenting me were just because they were just saying those things because they're my friends and family. And maybe I am just not as great as I thought I was. So you limit your potential, which leads you to create inaction because you doubt your own potential, or small action. Guess what that creates? Well, if you don't take any action, you don't get any results. But at the least, you take some sort of small action, or maybe you have a plan that's like 5 steps and you only do 3 of them. You don't follow through. Oh, no one's ever done that. Maybe you've heard of a friend do that, but not you. No. But, so let's say you take a small action. You know what you have to do, but you cut corners. You know that you have to put yourself out there. You know that when it comes to social media and networking and growing your contacts, you need to be consistent, but you've been slacking off because you've had a taste of that failure, because you started to question your beliefs. So guess what happens? You get crappy results. You get results less than you see your friends getting. Then you start to fall in the trap of comparison. Then guess what happens? Because you see these small results, or results that are less than you expected, guess what happens? This comes to the ass end of the failure cycle and even more fuels your limiting beliefs, maybe even gives you some more. And if you guys watch the video I did on the 12 limiting beliefs and the 12 thinking errors that every one of us have as humans, that's one that you want to know, because if you're able to acknowledge them whenever they come up and you get trapped in the cycle, that's one of the best places to stop this failure cycle, regain your power, and flip this back to the success cycle. Make sure you check out that video, link in the description below. That was a game changer for your mindset so you can master your goals. But guys, you can see how this plays out. You can see how if you're in failure mode, if you get trapped in this, it is a downward spiral. So you limit your potential. That causes you to not even take any action, which gives no results. Or at the least, you take a small action, and then your result either doesn't come what you expect, or it's just a question mark. It's just another lead without a result at all. And that keeps fueling your limiting beliefs, questioning yourself, questioning your abilities. And that leads you to think that you don't even have potential. All the potential that you thought you had was just a pipe dream. It's what your friends and family told you. You start to question yourself and think, they just want me to feel good. They like me. They want what's best for me. But in reality, I'm not even that good. And that leads you to take less action, and on and on and on. And guess what? That is the same thing, but it's negative momentum. This is the momentum that will literally cause you to be in a death spiral of growing your career and your brand. This cycle is exactly the same in both success and failure. It starts with and is fueled by momentum. How do we flip the script on our momentum if we find ourselves caught in a failure cycle? How do we add gasoline to the fire to turn your skills into napalm so that you can build your brand? It has to do with what you think about, your vision. And if you guys have been following me for any length of time on Instagram at The Fit Pharmacist, following the Fit Pharmacist Healthcare Podcast, you know how passionate I am about the power of questions, because they literally will determine the quality of your life. The quality of questions you ask will determine and are directly correlated with the quality of life that you script for yourself. And that is real talk, and I know it because that's what flipped my life around many years ago. And guys, this is the question I'm going to ask you. What are you thinking about? What are you seeing? How are you using your body to take your passion and skills and put it into practice. Y'all know that motion creates emotion. And if you're feeling down, if you're feeling like trash, guess what? You're gonna start questioning your potential. That's gonna lead you to make small actions, which is gonna lead to no or small results, which is gonna fuel your limiting beliefs. But there's a solution. You can get pumped up and you can really juice yourself and create a positive emotion from the motion that you put into your daily life. Now, you don't have to go all crazy like I do, but it works. It's who I am. It's my natural essence. And that is what juices me. And if any of you have been to any of my keynote addresses, if you've been to any of my speaking workshops that I do throughout pharmacy schools and pharmacy associations throughout the world, y'all know that was an experience, and I always aim to over-deliver and outdo the next time because I want you guys to get the most out of it. And y'all know there is not anyone on their phones unless they're putting it on the gram because it is an involved experience. Everyone is engaged because we use energy from the emotions we get from the motions we're putting into the time. Y'all know I bounce around. Y'all know I bring people up on stage and dance because I'm really trying to drive home a point. The emotion you create is the stimulus for this whole thing. And if we reverse engineer, if we know that that's the first step, we then ask, how do we do that? There's a couple ways. The one that I've been going ham on is the motion you use your body for. And I did a video and a podcast on how to do this, on how to use your physiology and the questions you ask to create the emotion that you desire and deserve that will fuel every action and goal you take, whether it's building your brand, your pharmacy career, or whatever that is. There's a link in the description below. You want to make sure you listen to that because that is real talk, one of the secrets that I used to build my brand and for all the content that you guys are enjoying here. Now, there is one other thing, and don't tune out yet. When I say this, don't roll your eyes because there's science behind it. It's all about visualization. So let's say that you want this cycle to go in success mode, but you're like, but Adam, I don't have success yet. I'm just starting. I'm just now overcoming my limiting beliefs. I'm just getting over a bad breakup or bad news or 2020 or whatever it might be. And you're trying to flip it. What if you could experience success and the result you want before it even happened? I'm talking about visualization. And this is not some hoo-hoo. This is real talk. Guys, if you think about and imagine and really put yourself in a frame of mind thinking about what it would feel like to achieve the result, the outcome that you want, the reason you're doing all the work, the reason you're putting in the time, the reason that you're working after work, the reason that you're putting in all of the energy to create your outcome, what that is, if you take a moment to actually mentally put yourself in that place, experiencing what that would feel like, experiencing what your life would be like if and assuming you have already achieved that outcome, guess what happens? Your mind starts to play tricks in a good way, like Houdini style. They did a study, this is real talk, they did a study of professional athletes who were runners, and they wired them up, electrodes on their head, all the stuff, and they told them, close your eyes, and we want you to imagine you're running the race. And they guided them through this, talking them through how many strides you're doing, maybe played some music. They literally were not even moving, but they told them and put them in the mindset that they were running the race. Imagine the people you're passing. Imagine the humidity. Imagine the sunny day. Imagine you're going faster and faster and faster. And guess what happened? Even though these professional athletes were not moving a muscle. They were stationary. They had an increased heart rate. Their breathing increased. There were measurable physiologic differences from standing still because they literally put their mind into the moment. And guess what? Imagine the state of belief. Imagine the potential they started to focus on and believe when they did this. Once they fueled their mind up, focusing on the potential because they were asking the right questions of imagine you're running this race right now. Once they got focused on that potential, imagine what types of actions they took. Once they took those empowered actions, imagine the awesome results they got. Once they got those results and experienced those and saw they were closer to their outcome or they've improved since the last time they tried this, imagine what that did to their beliefs and their abilities, in their certainty that yes, they can do this. Imagine what that cycle did to the focus on their potential. And that potential is now even greater than before. So imagine the level of action they then took, which led to a different level of result, which provided an even more empowering focus on belief and certainty in their abilities. They got momentum from asking the right questions, from using motion through the momentum they gained from visualizing their success before it even happened. That's magical. That's real talk. That's been backed by science, and I am a living testament that that stuff works. When I got rejected from pharmacy school back when I first applied, guess what that did? I was literally told, you're not cut out for this. You don't have the right potential. If I chose to listen to that, do you think I would have taken more action to make that happen? No. I chose to focus and visualize my outcome. I chose to realize that while my circumstances aren't ideal, I can control what I can control, and that is how I choose to respond to it. That led me to take massive action, which led me to get results more than I thought I could do and more than other people told me I was going to get, which started to raise my belief and certainty of maybe I can do this, which increased my vision of my potential, which increased my action, which increased my results, which increased my beliefs, which allowed me to see my potential. And now I'm here on a YouTube channel with you, teaching you about how to dominate pharmacy school and script your dream career as the most influential pharmacist in the world. That's cray-cray. But guys, this is how I did it. This is not like, I'm not overly gifted. I am no genius. There was Rokai, I was in Nokai, and then I was co-chair of Lokai. Like, real talk. If you follow this cycle, it will literally be the magic formula for literally transitioning what you want and making that actually a reality. I promise you, this seems simple, and it is, but simple does not mean easy. It is something to practice, but I promise you, when you see where you are in your process right here, you can address it. You can see, are you taking massive action? Your results, are they where you want them to be? Your beliefs, are you believing in yourself or are you doubting yourself? And then what do you believe your full potential is? If all conditions were right, if you had all the resources in the world, if every single adversity, if every single negative thing in your life was handled and you had literally a magic wand and could dictate the outcomes of everything, what would your potential be? If you identify what that is and you see what your ideal outcome, what you want that to be, and you feel like you actually have that magic wand, what kind of action will you take? When you take that kind of massive action because you're so pulled towards what juices you, you're pulled towards a purpose, you see your outcome, you identify the massive action that you're going to take, what kind of result do you think that's going to result in? What kind of belief in yourself, what kind of certainty in your purpose and calling do you think that's going to fuel? What kind of potential do you think that's going to unlock? That all starts with the momentum that you create. That is how it works. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my breaking in my first whiteboard experience, but this is exactly the system that you need to focus on and ingrain in your daily life. Whatever your goal is, whether it's building up your brand, whether it's scripting your dream career in pharmacy, whether it's your relationships, whether it's a financial goal, whatever the goal is, this is the cycle that gets you there. This is the cycle that gets the wheel spinning and gets you on the highway to success instead of getting you on a dirt road to failure. This is what it takes. It's not a lot, but it is a lot of impact if you flip the script on the loss that's been happening, if you stop the limiting beliefs, if you up your action and you're able to focus on the results, on the outcomes that you really want and you really deserve and you really, really want to live, not dream about, but actually put onto paper and plan. This is how to make that happen in 4 simple steps. Let's get that rolling. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said earlier, get my props. If you're watching the YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel. If you're on the podcast, make sure you subscribe. Guys, this is something I'm really passionate about. I've overcome a lot of adversity in my life. People telling me you can't do this, toxic relationships, all that stuff, but it pales in comparison to what some of you are going through. So this is my act of service to really help you to see that yes, you can. Keep going. Do not quit. There is a light inside of you that was gifted to you by Jesus. It is a gift that is meant to be put on a stand and lead others out of the darkness. Not to be put in a clay jar, not to be kept secret. It's meant to be developed and shared with the world. And my goal is to reach you guys because all of us have hard times in life. All of us have times where we lose sight of our belief in ourselves, or we start listening to that little voice inside that says, who are you kidding? You didn't do that. You failed before. We all have that. But my purpose is toning that out and lifting that up. I am your hope dealer. I want you to see that you do have the potential. You do have exactly what you've been looking for because all you have is all you need. This is how to leverage it so that you can flip your script and dispense your full potential. God bless. Love you guys.
I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear.